ex, I don't want no bitch I hate. I just want a chance, hopefully I make you glad. If you turn me down, tell the truth, I just might spaz. If you pull around left, I just probably bust the ass. And I think I should leave, should I leave it on? Should I try or just, I can't lie, I be wanting for the cry. But I'm tired of these hoes, they gon' follow. Falling like a baller blocker. Every time I kiss my feelings like I'm in a bottle. And you probably find my heart somewhere lost in the bottle.
Yo, what's up, chat? What's good? Excuse me here. That shit don't start. It's safe for me looking like a gremlin. Or like a bar the Grinch here, Joe. What's going on, chat?
Should I leave it on? Should I try or just, I can't lie, I be wanting for the cry. But I'm caught up with these hoes, they gon' follow. Falling like a baller blocker. Every time I kiss my feelings like I'm in a bottle. And you probably find my heart somewhere lost in the bottle.
Was that right? Yeah, watching the podcast.
They think we're the same. They think we think on the same playing field. They think, we cheat for the same reasons. Oh, you loved her. No, you loved him. That's why you cheat, because you loved him. You really liked him. That's why you got dug out by him. You really wanted to be with him. I didn't want to be with her. I just wanted to book. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. But they think we equals, man. So I just think that shit is hella funny.
Mm-hmm. What are you saying? You think men are better?
Say that again.
You don't think we're equal? You don't think men and women are equal?
No, we not equal.
What?
Hell no, we not equal.
That sounds misogynist.
Nah, that don't sound misogynist. We not equals. Nah, we not equals, G. We not equals. Because guess what? When y'all go on that date, guess what she gonna expect to pay that bill? You.
But she had to put on makeup. She had to get ready.
Yeah. That's her existing. Right? She put on that makeup. She get on your patch. She ain't gonna show your face on the Instagram story.
All right.
What would it take for us to get back together?
The first step would obviously be sobriety. When's the last time you smoked?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I don't know.
That is crazy. Imagine if Shorty telling me it's me or we. Like, I've been here for 2 years. We been here your whole life. Like, got you through some tough times, but you love me, right? You love me, right? It's crazy.
That doesn't sound confident at all.
I don't know the date. I didn't write the date down in my calendar.
It's crazy. The audacity, chap. PS4? Are you? PUBG? Are you? I mean, like, you can't. But some niggas personally.
What are you doing here?
I am Sam, and I'm going to be talking to my ex-girlfriend.
What do you want to say?
I'm hoping to get some closure. I think just the way that things ended with us, it's just been hard for me to move on.
Yeah, I think that there were resolutions.
Crazy. Moving mad. It ended for a reason.
I'm hoping to get some closure. I think just the way that things ended with us, it's just been hard for me to move on.
Yeah, I think that there were resolutions and sort of developments that have happened since we ended things that I would like to talk about.
Why don't you feel closure?
I feel like we didn't really get into the nitty-gritty of like why we broke up. We just kind of ended and we transitioned into being friends.
Why in the dark?
I'm more of a confrontational person, but I find that other people aren't. So I think that it's more comfortable for other people either to do things over the phone or not face to face, although I guess this will be, but we won't see each other.
Well, you ready to do this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Lights off.
Why you lights off, chat?
That's just such your face.
I'm like still
Should I try
closing
to
my
get closer?
eyes.
Oh, I feel like we're too close.
Hi. Hey. Do you want to explain why we're here today?
Well, I think you know that.
Bro, you on a
I'm very
video
sorry.
with the person. Just get straight to it. I hate when people pussyfoot around with them want to or what they want to do because they're scared of what gonna happen after. Knowing damn well they're gonna still do it. Like what? Why you wasting time? You causing suffering and emotions you wasn't you didn't go a prayer deal with. Just go straight through with it and live your life. Like, things don't always go good.
For the way things ended with us.
I feel like every time you say you're sorry, it just kind of like feels like a slap in the face because I gave you so many chances to fix things and to just turn around and say, oh, I'm sorry, with no action to back it up was just heartbreaking.
I'm sorry for lying to her.
About what?
Smoking.
Weed, alcohol, and some other stuff.
Yeah.
She got him sounding like chop. She's sounding a little bit like a mom right now. Like this quality mom material right here. No weed. Watch the alcohol and drugs. You better use some condoms.
I wanted to talk to you because I wanted to tell you that I'm sorry.
If he does
I
need
think
help,
that
he should get help.
I would start out with that. I think there's a lot that I have to apologize for. I honestly stopped feeling special. You know, a lot of the things stopped that were there in the early stages of our relationship that, like, you know, won me over. Part of me feels like you kind of chose work over me, but I also know that, like, I didn't have a job at the time, so
Bro, he
that
feels
was a lot of
uncomfortable.
responsibility for
She
you.
really getting it
You
all over.
traumatize me a lot when it comes to relationships. I've spent the last 2 years overcoming that and healing from that, and I think this is kind of the final thing to really heal from that trauma. And unfortunately, when I look back on our memories, majority of them are bad.
Yeah,
And one of those memories was you wanted to go meet up with one of your friends who was in town, and you'd been drinking a little too much, and when we got there, you just took tequila shots from him and everything. While I was sitting on the couch, I look over and you're kissing him in the
Are they date shots?
kitchen.
I got so drunk.
If they do, it still makes sense. A lot of lesbians and dates really be still taking it. Like, they be bi, but they bi behind closed doors.
That night that I fell asleep naked in my own house alone and peed in my closet.
Say something that you peed in your closet.
Yeah, that was not
That's
my best
crazy.
night. It's weird to me to think
Why the
about
closet?
little moments that you remember that I don't, because they were insignificant to me, but they weren't to you.
I mean, the roughest part of our relationship was probably the beginning. You getting over your addiction, but it just ended up being a recurring issue.
I feel like part of me took you for granted a lot, but I also felt taken for granted myself.
That was the last thing I wanted to do, was make you feel like you're being taken for granted. It was so surreal starting to date you, like, during the pandemic.
No, yeah, we had so much time together.
And coming back to reality from that is like, it took like 1,000 steps back.
Every time that you made your decisions, did you consider what was at stake? Because I had told you every time, right? It always threatened the relationship if you had relapsed or went behind my back.
I feel like I kind of didn't let myself think about the consequences. I just kind of.
You chose not to, or?
Probably.
I think one of the biggest dynamics that we had was that you would have very high expectations for me, so I would try to reach whatever standard you set for me, and the moment I got there, you would act like I didn't reach it at all. I remember that conversation kind of, that I told you that you never told me you were proud of me or anything like that, and you're like, why would I be proud of you? You haven't done anything to make me proud of you.
I had a problem with sort of like the negative self-talk in my head, you know, like coaching myself, you know, like, what the fuck are you doing? You're doing this wrong. How are you fucking this up? I think it's been a total slap in the face of how I expected myself to be and other people. Emiliano, is there anything you think I could give you in terms of closure? Any questions you have unanswered?
Yeah, would you want to get back together at some point?
Well, first of all, I would have to not be seeing somebody right now in a hypothetical sense, hypothetically. Honestly, if we had more time for each other, that's one of the biggest things for me is like quality time. Like right place, right time type of thing.
What would it take for us to get back together?
The first step would obviously be sobriety. When's the last time you smoked?
Yeah, like a week. I don't know.
That didn't sound confident.
I don't know the date. I didn't write the date down in my calendar.
I don't think that we can even be friends because you'd only be getting half of what you wanted. And I feel like us communicating kind of makes it harder for you to like get over that idea of like hoping and like regret and all those things.
Yeah, I think that after we called things off for the final time, I think that it was a really weird situation for me because I didn't really mourn our breakup for like a year. I don't know if it was just, how I used to be really busy and doing things all the time, just sort of like distracted. And so I think that was, at first it wasn't anything to me, and then it kind of hit me like a wall.
I thought I was fully healed from that, but intuition is weird, and I was thinking about, before I got the text for this, I was thinking about the fact that I want to heal from this fully, and so it felt like the perfect timing to really just let it go.
Do you think closure is possible at this point?
I think so, with time. Hoping that this conversation helps with that.
I don't know if I'll fully ever get over you going behind my back, but again, like you said, time heals.
Right. This nigga had to do some slimy shit. Like the whole video, I hear studying. Like what the fuck he do? Like what you want me did? So like he cheat. He lie about it. He robbed your mom. Stole some shit from your mom's purse. Yeah, he fought with your dad. Killed your bro. Something. New best friends ops. Something.
And I'm ready for the healing.
Overall, I am so sorry. I want to say that I hope that you really realize your self-worth and how cool of a person that you are, and I hope that this isn't something that you need to do that because you don't need me to tell you that. I don't know if it's necessarily closure, but just kind of, I guess it would be closure.
Yeah, thank you.
Lights on.
Hi. Can I hug you?
Sure.
How was that?
It was cool. I felt like I could say a little bit more of what I haven't said to him before.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it a lot. It was...
It's less stressful. You couldn't see the faces I was making either, so when you were talking, so... Same.
I mean, some faces were made.
That was a good feature that the room was dark. The camera was in night vision, so we could see them.
Same thing. What you looking at me like that for?
I
feel like this has brought us closer. Like,
no, honestly, I do.
I feel like we help each other get out of our comfort zones.
That's true.
Whether we're dating or we're not.
Very true.
Is there a future friendship here? Is there a future unblocking from social media?
I don't know about friendship. I think just acquaintances, probably, at least for now, knowing that you understand your role in our relationship.
Call an ex-lover and ask what went wrong.
Absolutely not.
I don't really talk to him that much anymore, just with a lot of stuff that went down. Heart's beating fast.
This is not going to go well.
Call one of your exes.
Chat, if you call you at Snow, she answering. Mine's ain't. I done talked sit my way out of that last one. Mine's ain't. I done talked. Mine's ain't. Well, she would.
I only have one.
You gotta call.
I haven't spoken to him since.
Who's the one you're most nervous to call?
I have one that I call the one that got away.
Or are they the one that got away?
He won't let me love him. It's the not.
Won't let you love him is insane. Insane. wrong with your love, baby?
Reciprocated feelings that it's just like that's the one I want.
We dated when I was maybe 19. I haven't talked to him in a long time, so we'll see if he answers.
Oh my god.
Chat, does it say the age?
If he answers, it's gonna be so weird. Because that was a secret. His parents are just
Secret's crazy.
very, very strict people. He would like leave work to hang out with me. So, let's see.
Hello?
Christian?
Hey, Sig.
Hey.
I had to call an ex and ask what you think went wrong with our relationship.
Sorry, put you on the spot.
No, I'd say the fact that I was moving away for school.
Yeah.
I think it was like my visa situation because if I had the opportunity to save it, I think we would be something else.
Yeah.
Do you know that I consider you for me the one that got away?
Really?
Yeah, I do.
I appreciate it. Damn, that's.
You know when you ex call you out last minute? You ain't spoke in years, but you left it on the shit where like she called back, she go be Canada. She go be Canada to get some iron to receive their chiropractic back shots. No, That what every dude can think. Obviously. I mean, like, what you really want from a nigga?
That's kind of a big drop.
Do you ever think about me?
Really should go on anything else up.
I love thinking about those memories. I love seeing the pictures.
Niggas gonna be thinking,
The wedding we'd gone to.
trying to fuck?
Stuff in the road trips.
What you want? You trying to fuck?
Do you
Is
still find
you
me
trying to
attractive?
go roll with some skins?
Yes. Do you still find me attractive?
Of course. Are you
Niggas
still seeing that
shooting
girl?
shit
The girl?
We had just broke up yesterday.
I'm so sorry.
So, you know.
Would you ever consider getting back together?
I mean, like, yeah, we like met up again, like talked. Like, I haven't dated anybody since.
Really?
Yeah.
No, this ain't to make fun at the guy who just said he hasn't dated anybody since. But, baby, I missed you, miss us, miss how we used to be. I've been staring at some of these songs we used to. I've been listening to these songs, our playlist, songs we used to listen to. I've been revisiting the place we used to go, and it's just not the same without you. It's just different. It feels like a part of that's just gone. I can't take that. I miss us.
I mean, I definitely would. You were
But
lit.
take none of that. Take none of that.
Thank you.
Personal
I would
and
too.
spinning.
Would you consider taking me on a date?
It could be arranged eventually.
Alright, bye, Annie.
Potentially.
Thank you.
Potentially.
I would too. Would you consider taking me?
Realistically though, chat, as men, we ain't turning on like it came to us. It's like I ain't gonna say it's ours, but like we had it before it came back to us. We ain't do no weird shit for shit to come back. So we thinking she fuck with me, she miss me. Yeah, man, yeah. When and not even just with girlfriends, like if you friends ain't hit you back up after such and such, you think they want you companionship or they just want to see or hear from you, make sure you're dead.
Me on a date?
So obviously you miss your presence.
It could be arranged eventually.
Alright, bye, Annie.
He's still into you.
Yeah.
Call an ex-lover and ask what.
Bruh, she was so happy, trying to hold the energy. Smiling. He got her smiling. Bruh, whole face is Bruh. She's so happy.
He's still into you.
Yeah.
Call an ex-lover and ask what went wrong.
Here we go. Ooh.
This is not gonna go well. Might just go straight to voicemail.
Bro, why this nigga look like a nigga named Dustin? Yeah. Nah, wrong nigga. Wrong nigga. Wrong dude. Ah, right, Steve. Steve is who we're looking for. The kid with the brown hair. Bro, that is not. Bro, we don't care who is Steve. Mike. No. I read that shit. Bruh. Uh. Bruh, he reminds me of this guy. Right, Cody. Sorry, Cody. He reminds me of this guy. Chat, you see it? Or it's just me? Do you see it? Alright.
This is not gonna go well. Might just go straight to voicemail.
Hello?
Kiana, I have to ask you a question.
What?
Why didn't it work out between us?
Bro, she just came from a hard day at work, dealing with a baby crying as a single mom. What? And he just walked her out her 8 a.m. nap before her sleep. Y'all know people nap before they sleep? I thought it was insane.
Because you're full of shit.
We know who ended it here.
Okay, do you care to go into that a little bit more?
That is crazy. You ain't shit, nigga.
Off more than you could chew.
You ain't shit. You ain't going.
I did.
You talked a good one, and then when the follow through came up, you were like, you know how the DJ scratches the record?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I saw when I looked at my bank account. It said, skirt. Said, I bit off more than I could chew. Good God. This girl wants how much money from me?
Why did things not work out between us?
Why do you still have my phone number?
Oh. Right now, right. I don't know if y'all watch Total Drama, but you see her, Courtney. You see Courtney. See Courtney.
I didn't delete it.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. What do you want to know my situation for? Are you trying to get back with me?
I came into some money, and I think I might be able to afford to hang out with you.
What the hell? Crazy.
I swear, if you were here in my face, I would punch the shit out of you and then leave. Bye. Bye. Have a good life.
I've got my eyes on you.
$700 date.
Call an ex-lover and say what went wrong.
Oh, wow. Yeah, my ex-husband. He was my high school sweetheart. We have 2 kids. Hello? Where are you at? I think you at work.
I'm at work.
I want to get your take on what went wrong with us.
We grew apart. You know, me going into the military, it was like a big change in between.
Going in the military, long distance, give it up. Just
Both our worlds that I don't think either one of us kind of talked about, and it was one of those harder things to accept in our lives, especially with having kids.
Do you still love me?
Of course, I'll always have love for you.
Let's call an ex.
I don't have any of my ex's numbers on my phone. I usually delete them.
What about Facebook?
I wouldn't want to talk to that ex. It was a while ago, and I've changed a lot, and she's kind of a bitch now.
But knowing all of that, you could just take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't know this person.
Yeah, that's true, but he ain't doing it. My guy in a puppet chat. My guy in a puppet chat.
We met through church.
Nervous?
Yeah, I don't really talk to him that much anymore. Just with a lot of stuff that went down.
Hey, so what do you think went wrong with our relationship?
You cheated?
Like,
And lied about it?
Barely.
I personally don't think that.
I just blew up your house, kidnapped your dog. But don't worry about it. We cool. We cool. 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 We cool, chat.
Either of us cared about one another that much. We just wanted to do stuff that we should be doing. I don't think I ever had.
Like, no accountability, chat. Like, none whatsoever. When we just said, yeah, so what? What's next? What's next?
Like romantic, emotional feelings.
See, I was the other way. See, I did like you, so.
I'm supposed to call
and I did.
Just wanted to do stuff that either of us did.
Like,
and lied about it?
Barely.
I personally don't think that either of us cared about one another that much. We just wanted to do stuff that we should be doing.
No, you can just say you wanted to fuck.
I don't think I ever had romantic, emotional feelings.
See, I was the other way. See, I did like you, so.
I'm supposed to call an ex and ask what went wrong.
Okay, this is gonna be really hard to take. Are you ready for it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm super gay.
I know. All right, I'll see you Sunday.
I never actually cheated.
Why does she think you cheated?
I did try. I did try and cheat. I never could.
Which ex are you thinking of?
His name is Brent. I knew that he didn't want any more kids, and I learned that that was important to me. It was hard being with him and his daughter sometimes because I felt like an outsider. Heart's beating fast.
This is Brent.
Hey, Brent.
How's it going?
Good. I was wondering, in your words, what happened to end us?
I'm sorry, what happened to what?
What happened between us? Why did it end?
You caught me off guard with this.
I'm such an idiot. So, I mean, yeah, my head was in all kinds of places. And I think that damaged a lot of my relationships with friends and family and, past partners. So,
Yeah.
I think the downfall was probably not sticking up, not wanting to cross my friends and have the confrontation.
I feel like on my end, I probably put a lot of expectations on you when you had a lot going on. So it's not all on you; it's also on me.
no, thank you. That's you're just doing so much better now.
It's not me or you, it's us.
After a couple big
I think so too. I think I caught you off guard and realized you didn't want any more kiddos. And sometimes with Ellie and you, I felt like an outsider. But overall, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
But my
Bro
personal
don't know
friends,
what to say.
I'll let you go.
I actually am pretty surprised that he gave that answer. The fact that a year later he remembers that and knows that that's something that bothered me, like that kind of means a lot to me. So
that was very weird. I don't know the last time I heard his voice.
I think that was a little nerve-wracking just because this past year I've been realizing a lot of bad things that happened in that relationship, and a part of healing was not talking to him or interacting with him a lot. So that was the first time I've ever talked to him one-on-one. I think it was good to
kind of like be thrown into it in a way.
Should we chat? I actually want to be on stream just till like 12. Should we? Fuck it.
I remember listening to my elders telling me that knowledge is power. Learn, my child, they used to say. Knowledge makes you smart, and smart people have a chance to thrive in this world we inhabit. Their words sounded vague to my callow ears. What is the knowledge they're referring to? Knowledge of mathematics, knowledge of physics, knowledge of languages, street knowledge, knowledge of human relationships. Unable to properly fathom their ambiguous advice, I grew up to become a generalist. That is, a person with a wide array of useful knowledge. I started to think in systems, and this mode of cognition led me to deeper states of consciousness that challenged the way I interpreted the world. I became more aware of my own existence, my own limitations, and my own potential. And that's when it dawned on me. The elders were right, but not right enough. In their quest for knowledge, they ignored the true essence of what knowledge's purpose actually is. Knowledge is indeed power, but the path from knowledge to power is not immediate. There are stages one needs to follow, and they could be summarized in the following sequence: knowledge, awareness, control, power. Knowledge breeds awareness. That is, the consumption of knowledge leads to a collective.
Alright, wait. Shit, let me set this before I go into it. Nope, there's no problem.
Welcome back to the Grant Stephan Show.
Alright, back.
When I was young, I remember listening to my elders telling me that knowledge is power. Learn, my child, they used to say. Knowledge makes you smart, and smart people have a chance to thrive in this world we inhabit. Their words sounded vague to my callow ears. What is the knowledge knowledge of mathematics, knowledge of physics, knowledge of languages, street knowledge, knowledge of human relationships? Unable to properly fathom their ambiguous advice, I grew up to become a generalist. That is, a person with a wide array of useful knowledge. I started to think in systems, and this mode of cognition led me to deeper states of consciousness that challenged the way I interpreted the world. I became more aware of my own existence, my own limitations, and my own potential. And that's when it dawned on me. The elders were right, but not right enough. In their quest for knowledge, they ignored the true essence of what knowledge's purpose actually is. Knowledge is indeed power, but the path from knowledge to power is not immediate. There are stages one needs to follow, and they could be summarized in the following sequence: knowledge, awareness, control, power. Knowledge breeds awareness. That is, the consumption of knowledge leads to a collection of wisdom nuggets that, when properly construed, can raise awareness. Awareness is the ability of the individual to make sense of oneself and, consequently, of the world around them. Once this process manifests itself, one is a cluelessness and incompetence to a state of control and power. When I say power, I don't mean power over others, but power over the things you can control. and you can control only what you understand, what you are aware of. So the imperative word here is not knowledge, but awareness. For awareness has always been the key to a life defined by clarity, intent, and cohesion. There is a path that one needs to follow in order to properly grasp what awareness really were to lay out today.
For those who didn't get that, it's the whole base is
they could be
this:
summarized in the following
knowledge,
sequence:
awareness, control,
knowledge,
then power.
awareness, control,
And
power.
All right, back. So knowledge is just like information. So like this here, y'all can see it. Ralph Lauren. I got knowledge on this. Awareness would be the fact that aware. All right, maybe I would be aware it smell good. Maybe after I spray, the scent will stay alone or rub off fast. And then control. I will obviously control when I put it on, so I can choose. This is like a different level. I can choose when I put it on, so I have control over the reaction I get. The reaction I get out of knowing and using my awareness in my favor. And I could do anything. So I want somebody to know I smell. Think I used to be wearing cologne all the time, spraying cologne. Um, I smell sweet though. I want the girl good impression of me. Well, I will wear it more often when I'm around them because I know people pick up on smells. If you smell nice, people look at you more respectful because you taking care of your hygiene and health. And then where the power comes in is how you choose to control and leverage. How you choose to leverage the control. So like the power could come in terms of looking to fuck. One of the things that women gonna know you looking to fuck with a woman. One of the things that people gonna more likely with women gonna more likely pick up when you come close to she, how your breath smells, how you physically smell, maybe between you, but your nails and type of things. So my action to what I know or what I'm aware of, and then me using that, which is the control, and then leveraging it to get either what I want faster or to get what I want would be how like that whole system of terms going like knowledge to awareness about the fact, then awareness about the fact into controlling how I use it to benefit me, which would equals the power.
Knowledge breeds awareness. That is the consumption of knowledge, consequently of the world around them. Once this process manifests, when you're young, the world around you feels overwhelmingly complex. You're thrown in this world with no experience and sometimes with no support. You feel clueless and incompetent. Empirical investigation has led me to believe that the reason for this is twofold and has little to do with intelligence. Two major forces that enforce this circumstance, so to speak, are the education system and the development of the frontal cortex. Let me elaborate. A brief history of how modern education came about reveals that, from the 17th century onward, the purpose of school was to create better workers, not better humans. Employers viewed school as a means to teach future employees the rules of punctuality, following directions, tolerance for long hours of tedious work, and the minimal ability to read and write. On top of that, as nations became more centralized, national leaders saw a great chance in schooling to lay the foundations for the facilitation of future patriots and soldiers. In essence, the school was not a place where children could enjoy a holistic education and develop a healthy personality. It was more like a prison where they would eventually lose their identity, creativity, and motivation. With regards to the frontal cortex, prolific biologist Robert Sapolsky revealed in one of his lectures something groundbreaking. The frontal cortex is the last part of the brain to fully develop. Your front.
You prefrontal cortex. They do some different research. It's not until age 25. It's the age 35. Her prefrontal cortex is the on your brain. I can't say most processing, but is the information processing the prefrontal cortex is like is very important to how we deal with consciousness and like how we communicate and interact with reality. So like all you motor skills, you people skills come together, creativity, art will come together in the prefrontal cortex.
Cortex is not fully developed until around age 25. That is astonishing. That explains an awful lot of behavior in freshman dorms. That explains all sorts of things. The frontal cortex takes forever to develop. And thus, childhood is filled with a frontal cortex that doesn't work very well yet. What does the frontal cortex do? All sorts of complicated things, regulating executive behaviors and strategizing on the very simplest level. What does the frontal cortex do? It makes you do the harder thing when it's the right thing to do.
This is an astonishing finding and reveals two things. Number one, that frontal cortex is predominantly sculpted by environment and is least constrained by genes, which apparently suggests that it is quite malleable. And number two, that young people don't have the capacity to totally benefit from most of its uses until their mid-20s. If we take into account these two factors and combine them with the proclivity of humans to usually choose the path of least resistance when it comes to action taking, we find ourselves in a very unfavorable situation. We end up with a huge amount of the population feeling not only clueless about who they are, but also lacking the necessary context that would empower them to discover their individual constitution. Nonetheless, this stage is possible to overcome. Firstly, if the individual understands his or her limitations, and secondly, by methodically accruing knowledge relevant to the alleviation of these limitations. Patience is key here, and when coupled with an incessant tendency to question conventional wisdom, it can produce extremely interesting outcomes. The famous maxim, know thyself, has been echoing throughout history since its first usage by Plato in his dialogues. There are at least 6 instances during which Plato employs the maxim, and in every one of them he does so in order to stress out the importance of self-discovery in the development of the individual. Although the context in each instance is different, the rationale remains the same. A self-aware individual is a conscious individual. Individuals who can't partake in the process of self-exploration will...
Even just the beginning, to be aware is to know. That was like when he start when it was telling about knowledge and all of that shit. Right here, stage one. Right there. Knowledge. Awareness. You gotta have to be aware, you gotta know the knowledge first.
Own lack of awareness and the consequences that such a state causes. Some of the consequences include confusion due to a lack of intent behind decision making, frustration due to a lack of understanding why certain calamities occur in their lives, hyperbolic emotional reactions when certain needs remain unmet, manipulation by external agents that will frustration due to the own lack of awareness and the consequences that such a state causes. Some of the consequences include confusion due to a lack of intent behind decision making, frustration due to a lack of understanding why certain calamities occur in their lives, hyperbolic emotional reactions when certain needs remain unmet, manipulation by external agents that will try to present themselves as saviors and take advantage of the predicament the individual faces. Essentially, a lack of self awareness is the main source of dogmatism in society today. Humans will always seek to belong, and this lust for tribalism can often yield friction within society. Most people who cling to certain, usually extreme ideologies, do so because they haven't sorted themselves out. The absence of a strong individual identity destabilizes the substrate of their being, and they're constantly in the look for more stable worlds to grab onto. These stable worlds can often be dogmatic worlds that reject certain aspects of reality in an attempt to deal successfully with its innately chaotic nature. Religions, political movements, cults, extremist groups all fall in that category and are there to remind us what a lack of self awareness can.
Like you stand for nothing, so you're like easily carried by everything. Regardless of who you think you are, you subconsciously, because you don't have a direction, you don't have like saying you firmly understand, believing about yourself. It's easier to be dragged along by what other people believe, because it may seem more confident, it may seem more confident saying it. It may seem like 2 + 2 = 4, and 1 of them things that they said might add up. But really, it takes like awareness, true knowledge on what you're talking about, or thinking about, or conversating about, to actually make a decision on a decision where you're gonna act outside what you live. Because as it said earlier, information is power. If strong and right information is undefeated in the time at the right time.
And gender. In a way, people who belong in these groups are manifestations of a person's inability to face the concept of the shadow, as Carl Jung put it. The shadow is the unknown dark side of our personality. Dark because it is very obscure, and
a lot of times we don't explore ourselves because we got this thing where, as you said earlier about Carl Jung, the theory is basically we have the theory of Christian theology with the devil on your left shoulder, or like this might just be me remembering characters, but besides the point, the devil on you right shoulder or left shoulder, whichever one, movies and things. So a devil on your shoulder and the angel on your next, and that's the side for the dark side. Your shadow self would be like the demon, and the light side would be is basically you have a mask. There are some parts you don't want to accept about yourself, or you would never like to show society, so you keep it locked away, and that's your shadow self. Or furthermore, you don't even want to explore, look at, you don't even want to think it's possible. And then like say would be like the mask you currently show society, everything you don't mind people knowing about yourself that you insecure with, or
also
just don't like about
we need
yourself.
to dig very deep within our psyche in order to discover it. It is a conglomeration of all of our fears, desires, and impulses like sexual lust, power strivings, selfishness, greed, envy, anger, or rage, and it operates in a subconscious level. A person can never reach the state of self actualization if they haven't managed to face the shadow until they can understand it, deal with it, and eventually assimilate it. Plato also pointed out
In some terms, people could call this a ego death.
that understanding thyself would also result to a greater understanding of the nature of being human. Namely, understanding oneself would also enable a person to form an understanding of others as a result. In order to understand yourself, first you need to understand your past and how your past affects your present and your future. The operative word here is past, but I use it to allude to both our past as individuals, but also to our past as species. From an individual's perspective, psychoanalysis is the most pertinent tool one can use to explore certain aspects of their personality. Major events in our past have played a critical role in shaping who you are today. Going back to those events, facing them, and creating associations with current ones can significantly raise self understanding. From a species perspective, humans are a work of evolution in progress, and our current state is if we don't examine closely the practices and habits of our ancestors and
There's really there's past the knowledge now. There's like really awareness coming in of oneself.
draw parallels to current behavioral patterns.
Control now will be how like you implement it in your life. Every time I can explain control, control is always going to lead to giving you power. 'Cause power is just leveraging what you have. If you're powerful, you can leverage what you have and get what you want. If you're not as powerful, you tend to be more called weak, and you most likely won't be able to get what you want. But as intelligence, strength, friendship, a skill, trade, choice, shit. It could be money. It could be a good service. Understanding social patterns.
The complexity of our social fabric is an undeniable
Here's where
reality.
you come in with
We
the
are
control.
idiosyncratic creatures that perpetually try to balance between individuality and togetherness.
In a bit, you can see why I can't separate control and power. Because inevitably, you have one, you can get the next, and inevitably, you have the one, the next will follow. So it's like all in your scene. There's two different things. All in your scene.
Usually we fail
One leads to the
dramatically
next.
in
It's like the
that
butterfly
attempt,
effect.
but it doesn't always need to
Like
be
me
this
clapping
way.
my hands, I
The
get a
way a
mix
person
sound.
forms their understanding of social dynamics is fostered during childhood and depends largely on the way the upbringing functions. Within the household, a child can get a glimpse of how real society operates and adopt certain characteristics that will help them transition smoothly from the microcosm of their family to the wilderness of the real world. Therein, the child develops an intuitive ability to interact and cooperate with others. Hence, most people make judgments about others based on intuition. Intuition is indeed a powerful skill, but alone is not enough. It can offer a rough understanding of social patterns, but if you want to understand the mechanics deeply, you need to enhance your social skills repertoire. In that respect, I'm going to briefly touch upon three major areas one needs to be aware of. Our perception is usually confined within the limits that our ego dictates. We are raised to think individually and not syllogistically. That process seriously hinders our capacity to understand and cooperate with.
Chat, I don't know what that word means either, but I think it means in unity or togetherness. I just guessing
Fellow
from
humans and our ability to form
what's the word again, chat?
and not syllogistically. That process seriously hinders our capacity to understand and cooperate with fellow humans, and our ability to form mutually beneficial connections suffers dramatically. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. It is a process that leads to a complete re engineering of a person's worldview, since it can offer them a completely new perspective on life. Cultivating empathy is the first step into unweaving the mysterious entanglement that encompasses our social life. Humans are evolved primates with an extremely sophisticated set of cognitive tools. The way, however, our social structures are formed rely more on power rather than sophistication. For years, we have attempted to evolve our societies from hierarchies to more egalitarian systems. For years, we have failed to do so. This reality is a result of an eclectic amalgamation of reasons such as cultural differences, environmental influences, intelligence, tribalism, religion, nepotism, and the general lack of affinity towards forming collective views. It seems that, on average, our primitive mind tends to dominate our more rational one, and the future doesn't look much promising in that respect. One needs to be aware of these truths and to exercise his or her capacity to deal with them consistently in order to stay sane and competent in our power-oriented environment. The reason our species thrived and managed to reach this prosperous time in history is predicated upon our ability to cooperate and establish laws that will allow stability to prevail within our societies. These laws would have never existed in the first place if it weren't for the aptness of certain individuals to influence and persuade others to follow their ideas and causes. Influence and persuasion are two of the most ancient human arts and have shaped our social makeup like no others. Yet, not so many seem to pay close attention to them. A heightened awareness cannot manifest itself with the absence of basic knowledge in influence and persuasion. Not only does this knowledge allow the individual to see behind the scenes of reality, but it also offers more clarity when dealing with the complexity of human nature. Such knowledge shouldn't be clouded by neglect. Moving through the stages of awareness is a precarious process. One will inevitably reach a point.
So this stage is like where you question every with the information that get brought before. With self-awareness comes questioning, because aware to be aware is to know and have knowledge on. You aware of a problem. You got knowledge that you got a problem, or it could be a solution to. But to be aware is to have knowledge on, and what this stage here can come on in is you might not be willing to accept everything you're aware of. Like as the video said earlier, a lot of people is get to and confirm because of things like biases, like women can't drive, women shouldn't be in the military. Whether they're right or wrong is not the issue. The issue is